Russia remains one of Africa's largest arms suppliers, delivering everything from fighter jets to small arms. But China has been steadily capturing significant segments of the market. Beijing is seeking to deepen military ties with the Sahelian states of Mali and Niger, where Chinese companies hold extensive oil and mining interests. Latest from West Africa, Burkina Faso has just received a massive shipment of advanced Chinese combat vehicles and artillery. This game-changing delivery is not just an upgrade, it's a bold signal that Burkina Faso is reshaping its military strategy to confront escalating threats in the volatile Sahel region. Keep watching to see how this shifts the regional balance of power. Context and overview of the latest delivery. China is a key partner for African nations in trade and investment, so Beijing's expansion of this partnership into the defense sector is no surprise. In August 2025, Burkina Faso took a major step forward in modernizing its army with a new shipment of advanced weapons from China. This consignment arrives at a critical moment. You see, Burkina Faso's security landscape has been bleak, with the country continually grappling with armed insurgencies across the Sahel region, mainly jihadist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. These groups have inflicted serious damage, destabilizing the region and challenging the military. The Burkinabe armed forces had long needed better equipment to counter these threats effectively. This recent delivery sends a clear signal of the government's commitment to strengthening its defense forces. Among the equipment received are modern Chinese-made VN-22B fire support vehicles, 120mm PLL-05 self-propelled mortars, and State Route 5 multiple rocket launcher systems. Together, these platforms represent a solid upgrade that improves mobility, firepower, and versatility. This push for modernization is part of a broader, multi-phase program initiated under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's head of state. The aim is to build a force capable of sustained, high-intensity combat operations across diverse terrain, from urban environments to the open Sahelian landscape. According to Military Africa, these deliveries are crucial to Burkina Faso's transition toward a more capable force, ready to counter asymmetric threats head-on. Key military equipment delivered. Now, let's talk about what Burkina Faso actually received. The shipment includes 3 main systems, all designed to complement one another for effective ground warfare. At the top of the list is the VN-22B fire support vehicle. These are 6x6 wheeled armored vehicles, each fitted with a stabilized 105mm rifled gun. What's interesting about these vehicles is that they're not just stripped-down armored cars, they're built for rapid deployment and sustained fire support, both in urban combat and in open-terrain warfare. Defense Blog reports that the VN-22B balances protection, speed, and firepower, giving a major tactical edge against insurgents who rely on fast hit-and-run tactics. Next is the 120mm PLL-05 self-propelled mortar, a true hybrid. The PLL-05 combines the punch of an indirect fire mortar with a direct fire gun. This versatility allows it to engage concealed targets indirectly, as well as armored vehicles or fortifications directly, all while remaining mobile enough to relocate quickly and avoid enemy counter-battery fire. Finally, the State Route 5 Multiple Launch Rocket System, MLRS. The State Route 5 can fire both guided and unguided rockets, with a modular launcher able to strike targets up to 70 kilometers away. Think of it as Burkina Faso's artillery wildcard for precision strikes or area suppression. Together, these systems deliver significant firepower and flexibility, key in urban siege scenarios as well as open-terrain bombardment. Working in tandem, the trio promises to reshape Burkina Faso's military doctrine by adding layers of firepower and tactical options that were previously unavailable. VN-22B fire support vehicles. Let's dive deeper into the VN-22B. Designed by Norinco, one of China's leading defense manufacturers, these vehicles strike an impressive balance between mobility and protection. The turret-mounted 105mm rifled gun gives them serious firepower, capable of defeating light to medium armored targets while providing direct fire support to infantry. Unlike standard infantry fighting vehicles, the VN-22B specializes in delivering rapid, precise fire support. Its strength lies in speed and endurance. According to Military Africa, it has a top road speed exceeding 100 km per hour and an operational range of over 800 km thanks to a reliable diesel engine. Its modular armor protects the crew against 14.5mm armor-piercing rounds, covering the majority of small arms threats and common anti-vehicle dangers in the Sahel. In Burkina Faso's current context, vast rural expanses, villages under attack, and complex urban environments, the VN-22B offers a flexible platform that can respond quickly and deliver effective firepower wherever it's needed. PLL-05 self-propelled mortars. Let's move to the 120mm PLL-05 self-propelled mortar. This system is a true game-changer for artillery support. The PLL-05 merges the roles of a traditional mortar and a direct-fire artillery gun. Mortars normally loft rounds on high arcs, excellent for hitting enemies behind cover, while guns deliver straight, direct fire to punch through armor or concrete. The PLL-05 combines both functions on a single chassis, giving Burkina Faso's artillery units exceptional adaptability. Semi-automatic loading and integrated fire control systems mean it can sustain high rates of fire. It can fire indirect rounds to roughly 13 kilometers, covering a broad operational area. From rapid suppressive fire to highly targeted strikes, this system is versatile. Army Recognition reports that the PLL-05's mobility allows it to reposition quickly on the battlefield, minimizing vulnerability to counter-battery strikes. A key advantage against agile insurgent forces that hit and vanish quickly. State Route 5 multiple launch rocket systems. The State Route 5 is the heavy artillery centerpiece of this package, and it's sophisticated. It can fire a range of guided and unguided rockets, giving Burkina Faso mission-tailored options. Whether it's a precision strike on a high-value target or an area saturation bombardment to suppress enemy formations, the State Route 5 delivers. With a maximum range of 70 kilometers, it can hit deep inside hostile territory without exposing launch crews to immediate retaliation. Its modular design means it can be reconfigured and reloaded quickly, supporting prolonged operations without lengthy downtime. Military Watch magazine notes that these capabilities are far superior to Burkina Faso's older systems. Put simply, the State Route 5 significantly boosts the range and striking power of the country's ground forces. Strategic shift in Burkina Faso's defense policy. What's driving all this new equipment? A strategic shift. Under Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who came to power in late 2023, Burkina Faso has clearly moved away from dependence on France and other traditional Western military partners. Political tensions and dissatisfaction with the pace and conditions of Western support pushed this change. Instead, the country has chosen to diversify its partnerships, especially with China and Russia. China, in particular, offers competitive prices, fast delivery timelines, and fewer political strings attached. Flexible financing methods, such as concessional loans or deferred payments, enable Burkina Faso to acquire this equipment despite budget constraints. According to Africa Business Insider, this pivot is about more than just purchasing hardware. It's about gaining strategic autonomy and ensuring the army has the tools to fight effectively on its own terms. China's growing influence in Africa. China's defense industry is expanding its footprint across the continent at a steady pace, driven by an offering that combines equipment, financing, and operational support. Burkina Faso is just one example among many of this trend. Like numerous African countries, it is seeking partners able to deliver quickly, at controlled cost, and with real, long-term technical assistance. Three factors explain this appeal. First, competitive pricing made possible by high production volumes and extensive platform standardization. Second, rapid delivery timelines, supported by substantial industrial capacity, mature maritime logistics, and deployment teams accustomed to demanding environments. Third, flexible financing based on export credits, payment schedules aligned with national budget cycles, and, at times, hybrid solutions that smooth investment effort without stalling modernization programs. China's offer goes beyond turnkey hardware. Increasingly, it comes as integrated capability packages, initial and ongoing crew training, scheduled and corrective maintenance, spare parts provisioning, technical documentation in local languages, simulators, assistance with operational readiness, and, where relevant, gradual skills transfer into national workshops. This lifecycle approach reassures armed forces seeking to avoid prolonged downtime, secure spare parts supply, and sustain equipment availability. Another recurring selling point is adaptation to the field. Whether in dusty Sahelian zones, rugged terrain, or tropical climates, Chinese manufacturers propose robust configurations, filtration and protection kits, and simplified maintenance procedures for austere conditions. For Burkina Faso, this cooperation fits naturally into a strategy of diversification and sovereignty. Diversification, because it reduces dependence on a single supplier, improves access to parts, and enables baseline interoperability across mixed fleets. Sovereignty, because it creates opportunities to establish local capacities, maintenance workshops, buffer stocks, technical training centers, and maintenance planning cells. In the short term, the goal is higher availability and shorter downtime. In the medium term, the objective is to anchor an autonomous support capability better aligned with national security priorities. This relationship does not remove the need for rigor, contract transparency, quality of support, supply security guarantees, and upskilling of local personnel remain decisive. But for many African states, China now appears as a capability partner able to align costs, timelines, and accompaniment, and to sustain force modernization over the long term, an equation that, more than anything, explains the widening of its influence. Chapter 8. Implications for regional security. These new military capabilities strengthen Burkina Faso's defensive posture. This should deter jihadist groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State that terrorize the region. Burkina Faso's modernization could also influence its neighbors, such as Mali and Niger. Some analysts believe it will prompt neighboring states to reassess their own defense strategies. However, this increased militarization raises concerns about the balance between security and socio-economic development. Burkina Faso has increased its military spending by 238% over a few years, according to ODI. In concrete terms, integrating modern equipment, training, and logistical support improves operational availability and anticipatory capacity. Heightened pressure on armed groups can go hand in hand with better protection of civilians, provided civil-military action advances alongside public service reform. For neighboring countries, the Burkinabe example can accelerate durable cross-border cooperation, intelligence sharing, and joint patrols. To endure, the effort must remain sustainable, cost control, performance monitoring, and local training. Higher spending requires rigorous budget governance and transparency. In the medium term, credibility will hinge on tangible results, secure roads, open markets, and accessible schools. Over time, how security and development are bridged will shape the Sahel's stability. However, this increased militarization raises concerns about the balance between security and socio-economic development. Burkina Faso has increased its military spending by 238% over a few years, according to ODI. History of Burkina Faso-China cooperation. This relationship is not new. Since 2024, Burkina Faso has been regularly acquiring Chinese equipment, mine-protected vehicles, armored support platforms, and training and maintenance programs. Over successive deliveries, the Burkinabe forces have built up spare parts stocks, opened workshops, and set officers to technical courses, strengthening availability and operational safety. This cooperation reflects a strategic partnership viewed as more politically neutral than some ties with the West, which are often conditional. It emphasizes speed of execution, integrated sustainment, and financial flexibility, while fostering local upskilling and ownership of capabilities. Joint committees align requirements, plan deliveries, and track performance. French-language manuals, train-the-trainer kits, and standardized parts libraries accelerate autonomy. Joint exercises validate employment doctrine, maintenance practices, and supply security. Political and economic implications. Politically, adopting Chinese equipment reflects a realignment toward Beijing and, on certain files, closer cooperation with Moscow at the expense of Paris's influence. This choice fits a multipolar context. Gaining strategic autonomy, diversifying partners, and widening negotiating room on security, financing, and development. It offers new leverage in regional forums but requires active neutrality to preserve bridges with all sides, avoid asymmetric dependence on a single supplier, and manage strategic communications to limit friction. Political credibility will rest on governance, contract transparency, anti-corruption measures, publication of availability and impact indicators, and anchoring agreements in clear legal frameworks. Economically, China's flexible financing, export credits, staggered payment schedules, alternative currencies, provides budget breathing room and speeds acquisitions, provided the total cost of ownership is tightly managed: spares, maintenance, recurrent training, midlife upgrades, logistics, and insurance. To ensure military spending does not crowd out social priorities, each program must deliver tangible local spillovers, workshops and buffer stocks, skills transfer, co-maintenance with national SMEs, availability clauses, and tracked KPIs. Macroeconomic balance requires a controlled debt trajectory, regular audits, and budget prioritization that protects education, health, and productive infrastructure. In the long run, the goal is to convert spending into human and industrial capital so the realignment strengthens both fiscal sovereignty and security, with measurable benefits for the population. Building self-sufficiency. The path ahead is clear. Burkina Faso will continue modernizing its forces by drawing on China and other partners that bring execution speed, cost control, and skills transfer. The objective is not only to acquire modern equipment, but to build local sustainment chains, raise operational availability, and entrench logistical and technical sovereignty. Concretely, the trajectory will include new acquisitions tailored to field needs, expanded training for crews and technicians, and joint exercises to align doctrine, maintenance, and command. Establishing workshops, buffer stocks, and simulation centers will accelerate force build-up, reduce downtime, and secure supplies of critical parts. The country aims to build genuine military autonomy, the ability to operate, maintain, and upgrade capabilities without relying on external providers. This autonomy will come through ongoing professionalization of units, standardized procedures, performance evaluation, and systematic integration of lessons learned into planning. The challenge is to align strategy, budget, and field effects so each investment yields more availability, responsiveness, and civilian protection. At the regional level, this momentum can help stabilize parts of the Sahel by strengthening cross-border coordination, intelligence sharing, and the capacity to hold ground, while remaining clear-eyed about the scale of the challenges. Security and development must advance together. Military gains will only endure if they are reinforced by accessible public services, infrastructure, and local economic prospects. If this video helped you grow, please like it, share your key takeaway in the comments, and subscribe to CELFA for practical content on motivation, leadership, and personal growth.